All right, let's jump right in. Today we're unpacking a really important report all about Meghalaya's education system. Now, this is a state that was once famous for its schools, a real hub for learning. But now, it's facing a huge turning point. And it all starts with one pretty shocking number.
124. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the number of schools in Meghalaya where not a single student, zero, passed their Class 10 exams in 2024. A number like that isn't just a red flag. It's a blaring siren. It tells you something is deeply wrong with the system, and it's exactly why this deep dive report we're looking at today even exists.
So, you have to ask, right? How did a state once known as the Scotland of the East, famous for its incredible schools, get here? That amazing history is exactly what makes today's situation so jarring. The entire system is truly at a crossroads.
So, to deal with this head-on, the government set up the State Education Commission. And their job was crystal clear. First, figure out what's actually going wrong from the ground up. And second, create a solid roadmap for the future, one that lines up with the new national education policy.
Okay, so the first place the commission looked, right at the beginning, the K-12 school system. That's where it all starts. And what they found, well, let's just say there are some really deep structural cracks in the very foundation of education in the state.
Just look at this table. The difference is, wow. At the elementary level, where kids are building their foundation, only 28% of schools have proper concrete buildings. And get this, 41% are in need of major repairs. But then look at classrooms and electricity. Those numbers are even more telling. The foundation of the system is quite literally crumbling.
Let's just pull out that electricity stat for a second, because it's an absolute showstopper. 95%. That's how many elementary schools in Meghalaya are running without any electricity. Just think about what that means. We're in an age of digital learning, and this one fact completely cripples any attempt to bring in modern, effective teaching methods right where they're needed most.
And the resource problem doesn't stop there. Only 3%, just 3% of government and SSA schools have libraries that actually work. This just points to a massive gap in access to books and other basic learning tools. It creates an environment where it's just really, really hard to spark a kid's curiosity.
But then you see something like this, an absolutely incredible jump in Class 10 pass rates from under 56% all the way up to over 87% in just 1 year. This was thanks to a program called CM Impact. So it shows that when you focus on a problem, you can get results. But the report asks a really important question here. Is this a sustainable fix, or is it more of a temporary Band-Aid?
Now, the issues aren't just at the school level. The report makes it clear that Meghalaya's colleges and universities are facing their own big hurdles, especially when it comes to how they're run and the quality of education.
So here's where things get really complicated. The report calls it a dual governance structure. Basically, the colleges are stuck right in the middle. On one side, you've got Northeastern Hill University, which is a central university. They handle all the academic stuff, standards, affiliation, you name it. But on the other side, you have the state government, and they control all the physical stuff, the money, the buildings, the salaries. This split creates a system that's often confusing and just not very efficient.
And this quality control issue, it spills over into the private sector too. The commission looked at 9 major private universities. Out of those 9, only one, just one, has NASAC accreditation, which is the National Seal of Approval for Quality. That really makes you wonder about the standards at the other 8, right?
And when they dug a little deeper, the commission found that a lot of these universities are just operating from temporary campuses, without much progress on building permanent ones. But what's even more shocking are the dropout rates. One university had a student dropout rate of over 94%. 94%. That's a huge red flag that something is seriously wrong.
Okay, so we've laid out the problems, and they are significant. But this report isn't just about listing everything that's broken. Its main purpose is to give a clear, actionable blueprint for how to fix it. So let's get into the good part, the recommendations for rebuilding Meghalaya's education system from the ground up.
The Commission's strategy is really smart because it hits 4 key areas all at once. First up, changing the curriculum, moving away from just memorizing facts. Second, shaking up how teachers actually teach, bringing in modern interactive methods. Third, a huge overhaul of the governance to make management simpler and hold people accountable. And finally, and this is so important, taking care of the teachers, because, let's be real, A supported teacher is an effective teacher.
And to really drive all this change, the report suggests creating a state quality management task force. Now, this wouldn't be just another committee that writes reports. The idea is for this to be a powerful group that can actually enforce quality standards across every single higher education institution in the state.
And the recommendations get super specific from there. They're saying colleges need to create their own infrastructure plans. The government needs to fix the service rules so that good faculty can actually get promoted fairly. And they're pushing for NAC accreditation to become a non-negotiable priority for everyone. These are real, tangible fixes for the very problems we just talked about.
All right, so we've got the diagnosis, and we've got the prescription. The big question now is, what's next? What will it actually take to turn this blueprint into reality for the people of Meghalaya? And this is why all of this matters so much. This report isn't just a stack of paper, it's a potential roadmap. Getting these reforms right is directly linked to the state's economic future and the opportunities available to its young people. It's really about reclaiming that legacy of being a true center for learning.
Which brings us to this final huge question. Meghalaya is really at a fork in the road. It has a plan that could totally reshape its future. Now, the challenge is enormous, no doubt about it, but so is the potential. Can a total system-wide overhaul actually turn this crisis around and maybe even create a new model of educational excellence for the rest of the country to look at? Well, the answer to that is going to unfold in the years ahead.